What's up? It's Rob Cressy, and I want to share with you my formula for how I've created 372,620 plays of my podcast. And what I'm going to do is do this by sharing 3 tips for how I've done this, and you can too. And to add some context, here we go, showing up my stats, 372,620 plays of my podcast. So tip number 1, the power of consistency. So my podcast, Best Year Ever, which was originally the Sports Marketing Huddle, started on July 11th, 2016. So we're coming on 6 years of doing that podcast. And over that time, I've published 500 episodes. So if you break that down, that is 83 podcast episodes a year, which is roughly 1.5 podcasts a week. And on average, that is 745 plays per episode. So the way that you get to 372,000 is the power of consistency. Every single day, every single week, week after week, year after year, you keep showing up, you keep showing up, you keep showing up, because eventually those numbers get bigger. You get better. You increase that know, love, and trust factor. So the power of consistency is so important when it comes to growing your podcast and building your brand. Number 2, content length. So many people, when they start out launching a podcast, I'm like, all right, how long do you want your show to be? At least an hour. No. Throw that in the trash. So when I look at sort of the length of the content that I publish for my podcast, I estimate that 50% of it is between 1 minute and 15 minutes. I would call that short form. And what this does is it allows your podcast to become bingeable. So I remember when we were hosting the Sports Marketing Huddle, and we had a professor at the University of Dubuque in Iowa hit us up via email and say, Rob, I just want to let you know that I listened to 20 of your podcast episodes while on a multiple hour road trip. They were so bingeable. So boom, he went 7 minutes, 7 minutes, 7 minutes, 7 minutes, boom, over and over and over and over again. So short form allows people to binge your podcast, which means you can get more people listening, which is more plays for your show. I estimate that only 40% of my content is between 15 minutes and 30 minutes. And these are probably going to be more my interview-based podcasts where, hey, I bring on someone and we chop it up. And then lastly, I estimate that only 10% or less of my podcasts are over 30 minutes long, because we live in a world where people have the attention span of a peanut. So why would I create episodes that are an hour long when by design, most people are going to peace out around the 22-minute mark, or that's the estimated number that we've heard for how long people's attention span is. Doesn't mean that I won't create them, because I will, and I recently have, when there's a lot of value for a specific community. But my recipe for success is less is more. And then lastly, my third tip for how I've created 372,620 plays of my podcast is bringing on guests. So this is wonderful and can be a great growth agent for you, because when you bring someone on, now you give them the opportunity to share that show with their audience. So this increases my credibility. This increases their credibility, and that is a win-win for everyone, including you, the audience. So now, as I think about building my network and more relationships, I go out there and say, hey, I've got a podcast, a platform of value. Who out there is awesome that I would love to talk about and shine their light on the world? Because remember, everybody loves to talk about themselves. So by bringing them on my show, not only do I get to learn from them, I get to build a relationship with them, and we deliver value for both of our audiences, but then I get to tag them on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram and add some more of that know, love, and trust factor and shareability of my podcast. Once again, rinse and repeat over the course of 6 years and 500 episodes, and all of a sudden you're like, this is how all of this compounds. So it is one part the power of consistency, one part content length, and one part bringing on guests and shareability. And you've got to be willing to get 7 plays of your podcast before you're able to get 372,620 downloads or plays of your show. Because so often we judge, oh my God, has anybody listened to this? Don't worry about this. Have a long-term mindset. Know that when you do this consistently and you deliver value and you connect with people and you come from your heart, things will happen and grow. There's a silent majority and vocal minority. Trust that when you put good out in the world, good will come back to you. And if you're a thought leader who wants to amplify your voice, grow your brand, and create more impact in the world using podcasting, then go to robcressy.com/voice. Our next podcasting cohort starts on July 13th. This will be one of the best investments you ever make in your life. And I'm preaching from experience. Having 372,620 plays my podcast later, a coaching program, a robust network, having booked speaking gigs, MC gigs, landed clients, built friends, new relationships, everything in between. This program is designed to accelerate all that for you and give you the exact process so that you can create a platform of value for yourself in podcasting. Once again, go to robcressy.com/voice. I look forward to seeing you there.